Time now for Reporters Roundtable to put the headlines in perspective. Berna Dean Steptoe is off this week, but Bud and Ross are both still with us. And Bud, let's start with you this week. Tarrant County Judge Glen Whitley upset some state senators. He said that local officials shouldn't be blamed for property taxes. This is all on state legislators. Connie Burton didn't take too well to that. Kelly Hancock didn't either.
You know what was amazing? This was a mild-mannered county judge, an accountant by trade. He's been a commissioner and county judge for 22 years, who suddenly came out and said, you know, all this is awful. It's coming out of Austin. They're blaming local officials for higher property taxes. When they wrote into the budget, they figured in a 14% school property tax hike in order to balance their budget. They figured that in the Senate into the budget year. School taxes would go up 14%, or they couldn't balance it. But you know, the other thing that was interesting, he also mentioned, he talked about the Empower Texans and Tim Dunn. I said Tim Dunn's spending millions and millions trying to buy the legislature. So he actually came out naming names about Tim Dunn and Empower Texans.
Well, you know, when it comes down to the property tax blame, Ross, who really is to blame? I mean, is there enough to go around?
There's plenty to go around. The school districts and the counties and the cities do set their own tax rates. The state's right when they say, or state officials are right when they say they don't have anything to do with that. Exactly, but they indirectly control this. When the state decides what the school finance formulas are going to look like, for example, it depends on those local property taxes, and to say that they're not complicit in that is just wrong.
You know, Ross, there's another story this week, too. Ken Paxton, Attorney General, doubling down on his effort to stop schools from what he calls unlawful election engineering. Political campaigning is kind of what he's suggesting. He even threatened Louisville ISD, one of three, with legal action if they didn't take down a tweet. Is this law or is this politics?
Well, it's a little bit of both. It's mostly politics. What he's saying is if a superintendent or a school district takes a position on an issue and then encourages people to vote, that they're basically encouraging them to vote in a particular way. And he's saying you can't use state funds or school district funds to do that. That's the law part. But there's also a political thing here. These officials, as Glen Whitley has pointed out, are battling over education money, and it figures into the elections.
But we have less than 60 seconds here left. Let me ask you about this other issue here too. A Plano City Council member in hot water over a Facebook post wanting the feds to ban Islam.
Yeah, Tom Harrison posted on Facebook. It was a repost of something saying, "Tell President Trump to ban Islam in school." Of course, Plano was upset. There are 30,000 Muslims living in Plano. This was an incredible thing for a city councilman to say.
Very surprising indeed. Gentlemen, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it, and thank you for watching as well. Don't forget, early voting begins on Tuesday for the March 6th primary. We'll see you again next Sunday. Hope you have a good week.